Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I am Cami and I'm joined by Ryu and Bonnie, sharing our Japanese gal pick. Bonnie already talked to us about Komako Kimura, but before we dive back, I want to get to know something random about our gal pals. I would like to know, is there a specific place in Japan that you would like to visit?
Go for it, Bon.
I don't know about specific places, because I know there's a bunch of... I mean, you gotta do Tokyo.
Right. Oh,
Of
yeah.
course.
Totally.
Obviously.
Yep.
But I'd like to visit some of the little, temple-y shrine thingies.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
right?
god. My entire
Mhm.
dream is just to set me loose in a small town and have me find the Tori gates and then just keep going.
There you go. Or the Shinto gates. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the Tori gate. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I just
there you
want to
go.
go through as many as possible. Just go wandering into ones that go into the woods.
Yes. Into the woods.
Never find me again.
Oh, nice. Any other places?
Oh, I'm sure just, the whole
You're like
thing.
all of it. All of
Yes,
it, please.
yes, yes, yes.
The whole thing. The trains.
Oh, yeah.
my
Bullet
God,
train?
Shinkansen. Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
All the anime stuff.
Yes.
All the... Well, I'm not big into seafood.
Right, yeah.
But, all the rest of the food.
Yes. I mean, it's got to be fantastic there because they're actually on the water. Here in Indiana, seafood is horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Because where is it coming from? I mean, a truck somewhere. But there, it's fresh.
Mhm.
So I always go with it's got to be better than here.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. Definitely Studio Ghibli.
Mhm.
At any point, love and adore them. It's kind of like a Disneyland sort of
Nice.
thing. But I've always loved Mount Fuji and, oh no, I already forgot how to say it. Hakone?
Hakone.
Hakone. There we go. Hakone is where the big Buddha is on Mount Fuji. And it's always, I have seen it in iconic imagery, but it's the idea of the Buddha and the mountain and the water all, and the cherry blossoms around. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, that just seems like the antithesis of all my favorite things in one specific place. But yeah, I'll take any and all of it actually in
Yes,
Japan.
yes, yes, yes.
I am not picky. I'll be luggage and go with somebody.
I will be happy just in the airport. You
Right.
just put me in the
Oh, yeah.
airport and I will die of happiness.
Mhm.
I might
Yeah.
genuinely just start crying,
Right.
instantly. Yeah.
What would be a specific place for you then, Cam?
I mean, genuinely take me anywhere. City-wise, take me to Kyoto.
Yes.
I want to exist in Kyoto for as long as they will let me stay.
There you go.
But,
as long as the passport or the visa will allow you to stay.
Until they have
or
to
the money
kick
runs
me,
out.
until
Yeah.
they have to kick me out of the country. Just set me loose anywhere. But of a specific place, I really want to go to an animate store.
Oh.
It's filled with all of the anime and manga merch that you could ever want in your life.
Oh.
Specifically their Ikebukuro flagship store, which is the biggest anime and manga merch store in the entire world.
What would that be equivalent to here?
Oh god.
Like a
giant-
Disney store? You know what I'm saying? It's
sort
one
of
particular brand?
imagine a bookstore
Yeah.
and imagine the anime section of an FYE or a Hot Topic,
Okay.
and then just imagine that on steroids.
Ooh.
It's
all
floors
of it.
upon floors. They have a cafe that will do collaborations with different series. You have all of the books that you could get. You have different merch of different stationery, but you're also your figurines and your pins.
Mhm. All
Just-
your Sailor Moon stuff on.
I
Yes.
want the Sailor Moon pins so
Oh my
bad.
God.
I every couple of years I go looking for little, because that's
Like the
little
enamel
transform-
ones?
No, they
Oh.
transform with pins, in
Oh,
the original manga.
Lovely.
Right.
They play the little arcade game, and a pin pops out as a prize, and
Right.
that's what they use to train. I'm like, I need.
I'm going to need those.
Pins.
Exactly. Well, when Cammy is set loose in Japan.
Yeah, and you can never get me out. Yeah, especially if you take me to an animate store. I know there's one in LA. If we ever
Yeah.
somehow end up on the West Coast, I mean, honestly, I'll take any animate store. But you might not ever be able to get me to leave. I might just live in that building.
Right, exactly.
And they
You're
will
like,
have
all
no
my
say
favorite
in the
things.
matter. I will just be there.
You're like, so I live here now.
You
Yeah.
cannot get rid of me.
Nice.
I'll work if you ask me to. But
But really. So who do you have for us,
Oh
darling?
my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
I know.
I am here to talk about a J-pop artist, and that is mostly because J-pop is one of my greatest joys in life.
Sweet.
It is what is keeping me sane.
It's getting you through med school?
Yes. This is also reworked from a presentation I did in my honors music class, where I
Nice.
talked about a J-pop artist because that's what you do in an honors music class.
I do. I love that you have the opportunity to do that.
I'm really
in
surprised
college.
she said yes.
Yeah.
Really surprised she said yes. But it's done without the music built in this time, so bear with me a little bit. But without any further ado, let's talk about Ado.
Ado, look at that. Because Ado is almost spelled like ado.
No, it's spelled exactly the same.
Okay, it's spelled exactly the same.
All right. I also will use the suffix san for her name, probably just on reflex. Think of it as like a Mr. or Mrs. suffix. It's just kind of there. Ado-san is a current J-pop star. She's popular enough to have done her own world tour. I know because I went.
You went! Exactly. In
Little bit.
Chicago.
Yeah, a little bit of show and tell. I did go to see her in Chicago. Was an absolute life changer. She's also the same age as me, by the way.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's 21.
I didn't know that.
It's really scary. We're like 3 weeks apart. I'm 3 weeks older than Otto.
Oh!
Really scary.
Do you guys have the same, like, zodiac sign and stuff?
I mean, probably. I mean, maybe. I don't know where the exact edge of the month's end, but
right.
probably.
You have the same animal for the zodiac,
Mhm.
so yeah, exactly.
It's real scary.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
She started out as a cover artist for Vocaloid songs, and I'm assuming that both of you know Vocaloid. But for people that don't, think of Hatsune.
I love Bonnie's face right now. Bonnie's face is saying, I don't think I know what a Vocaloid is.
Hatsune Miku.
Yeah,
You don't know Miku-san? Oh my god.
She's going to freak out a little bit. It's going to be great.
Just a little. Hatsune Miku, essentially think a robotic voice that sings songs.
Okay.
If you've ever seen the giant light blue, sort of turquoise giant pigtails on an anime girl before.
And she kind of
It's
sounds
Miku.
like a little bit like a computer or almost
Yeah.
like an automaton. But it's all computer voice. There actually isn't a
Yeah.
person. The person is writing the music, but it's all... I know, right?
Yeah,
It's not completely AI, but it's real close.
Yeah, it was before. It was a long ways before AI, but yeah, it's lovely. They create a lot of artists' freedom to be able to create songs however you want and to have them sing it. But there's also a lot of then opportunities for then cover artists to go in and match what the Vocaloid does and to sing it. And so that's how Ado-san started. She started by soundproofing her closet and
Nice.
singing Vocaloid songs.
That's how podcasts also get started,
It
too.
very much
Soundproofing
is,
a
yeah.
closet, yeah.
But now, essentially, the Vocaloid artists that would write stuff for the Vocaloids now write for Ado instead. And so she sings stuff that is written for her, which is why I will sometimes call her the human Vocaloid, because
Gotcha.
it's what she do.
Mhm.
And then because of that, she has a wide range in her discography. She'll have quieter songs. She'll have a lot of songs with screaming. And so you get this wide range of stuff because there are multiple different artists that are writing for her.
Nice.
Her breakout song is called Usseewa, which translates either to a very crass way to say shut up or shut the fuck up.
Nice.
So it is really nice. It's filled
You
with...
can see why it caught on.
Oh, it really did. Yeah. It's filled with rage against societal expectations. It talks essentially about burning out of what is expected of you.
Yeah.
Starts with being an honor student and growing up too fast, talking about keeping up with trends, keeping up with the stock market, focusing on finding the perfect job, etc. But then the chorus screams at you to shut up, that you're better than you think, and I don't want to hear or do what you expect of me.
Aww.
And so it's very nice.
I like
It
that.
blew up in Japan and blew up internationally.
Sweet.
And so I've been listening to some modern J-pop for about a year now, but I very rarely hear actual political or social themes in the music.
Right.
And so it's a rarity. And it's rarity, and especially rare that it became this popular.
yeah.
And so it is really nice. It has so much rage in it, and it got popular on such a global level. And
It probably just like hit a nerve. Like
Yeah.
I feel that too, or I can totally.
yeah,
I feel that same way sometimes, and I just need to scream it too.
yeah, it's something that isn't expressed as much.
Mhm.
I will say, hearing the song live was one of the scariest experiences of my life.
Why was it scary?
Okay, because like even when the song is recorded, there's still like a melody in the verses before she starts screaming at you.
Yeah.
When you're live, she just screams the whole thing at you, and everybody screams back.
Oh, so it's the whole room is screaming.
Yes, the whole
Got
room.
it.
There's literally just a bit that's just a giant scream before the chorus.
Right.
The entire room just swells and screams at the top of their lungs.
Right.
Before going into use, use, usewa. And so it's a lot of screaming and rage. It was an experience, but it was still absolutely wonderful. But despite the different songwriters that can lead to different themes and the rarity of social topics, there are other songs in her discography that also have that sort of societal rage. Mm-hmm. One song example is I'm a Controversy, about the misconception that somehow our existence is controversial. And learning to like that misconception.
Sweet.
And so I have some little lines. A knife I never wanted, I was only holding it, but I like it more and more.
I dig it.
I'm not necessarily a good person, but I'm not as awful a person as you think. Probably.
Nice.
I'm sorry, I'm just weak. I couldn't meet your expectations. Sorry. So it's a lot of it of like almost sarcastic apologizing for what you can't do. Yeah. But then at the end of the song, it repeats the Atashi wa mondai saku, I am a controversy. But then it asks at the end, Anta wa dodai? What about you?
Oh, I like that throwing it back. Yeah, nice.
It's very nice. But one of my absolute favorites is called gira gira. It's an onomatopoeia for sparkling or glittering. Mm-hmm. It's all about self-judgment, which is really fun. My favorite set of lyrics starts with one line, which is near the start of the song. Ugly, honestly, my face is as if God drew it with their left hand.
Aww.
But then, in the bridge, if God was left-handed, I can't imagine how happy I would be.
Aww.
My hand was up very high, my left hand, very high up in the air during that song.
Right.
Especially during that line, because it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's poetically lovely and deep and entangled. Yes.
Yes. Songs with some rage are a lot more common here because we express our rage very freely and
we have
very loudly.
Rage Against the Machine, so yes.
we put it in everything.
Right.
But in Japan, they also have that rage. It just doesn't manifest as much. You don't see it as often because there is more of a culture around not sharing that. There is more pressure
not
to
in
societally conform.
art, especially.
Yeah. It's something that's kept a lot more reserved. And that reserve also shows in another way in J-pop of artists not showing their faces to their audiences and to their fans. Mm-hmm. Ado-san is one of them.
Yeah.
If you see her, she'll have like almost an anime-style representation of herself, or you'll see her backlit.
Isn't that the shirt you're wearing?
I am wearing my Ado shirt.
Yeah,
today.
there you go. I was going to say, yes, yeah.
Yes, there is a representation of it, but a lot of artists, my favorite, Natori-san, there's Yorushika, Eve-san, they're also backlit during their performances to hide their faces. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they will show photos of themselves with their faces hidden, or they'll have it scratched out, like in Natori-san's photos. So during Ado's concert, she is inside of a cage, and she's entirely backlit.
Yeah.
She is a silhouette in a cage with an angelic voice, but she still has an insanely commanding stage presence.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she dances, she twirls all over the place, she sings part of one song lying down, she desperately claws at the bars during one desperate song. Ooh. And so she still fills the entire stage and gets everyone to support her, even worldwide, where we're not used to seeing artists. Well, not seeing artists.
Right. Not seeing faces, not being like, it's about how you look first and then everything second.
It brings up that important question.
It's about the music first, yeah.
Do we have the right to information about the people who make the music we listen to?
Yeah.
Knowing celebrities well can help us connect to them, but it also means that we intrude on their personal life. Yeah. They don't really get one anymore. Mm-hmm. Is it enough to just enjoy the art without needing to know everything about the person who made it? Sometimes context is really helpful. And sometimes we do look for it. Taylor Swift, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was making me think of, because how judged she is for the things that her personal life and any way that she looks. You know what I mean? It's whether she looks great or whether she doesn't. It's imagine if we knew Taylor Swift but didn't know what she looked like and didn't know about the personal life. Yeah.
And is it necessary to relate to her songs?
Right.
Would we still relate the same way? And so does that help allow the quality of the songs and the vocals of the person's talent, not necessarily their appearance, shine through more than if we were just focused on, their hair, their outfit, their makeup, and how they looked that day? Mm-hmm. And so does it make it more of an auditory art rather than a visual one?
And more personal art than a... I don't know, other presenting, you know what I mean? The context sort of it.
Isn't music meant to be auditory? But we've made it into a visual spectacle.
Yeah.
And so does this help separate that? And those sorts of things are important to consider. And Japanese artists can choose to show their faces. Some, like Yoasobi, choose to show them, and they do stuff around the world as well. Mm-hmm. But other artists will also go global and choose not to.
Yeah.
Having that personal choice is something we aren't as familiar with, and it brings forward those awesome questions of how do we present ourselves in our work?
Yeah.
And it's lovely.
Exactly. I like that.
Tee-hee-hee.
There was one artist, and I'm trying to remember, that was in like the 50s or 60s that always did background vocals, but did not ever want to be like had tremendous stage fright. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That sounds familiar.
And it's not Cat Stevens, because that's the first one that's coming. Oh, but he wrote a lot of songs. He wrote songs for the Beatles. He wrote songs for John Lennon. And he just kind of stayed in the background because he just didn't want to do that whole side of things of being judge. Smielsen, oh man, he had this whole album.
Yeah, and it's would it have changed if he could have just showed up and not have shown his face?
Because once his music still found its way in, we all went, oh, this is great. Who is this? What does he look like? You know, where is he? Yeah. And by that time he was already gone. But
to ask the intruding questions that scare them off.
Right. Yeah. I will figure out who it is and put it in the show notes. It's like really tongue. But I love that can exist now, especially in a digital age.
Yeah.
When we feel like all of our personal life and all of our, let's just say, good days and bad days, you know what I mean, beauty-wise, are on display. Yeah. It's kind of nice to have that anonymity.
Yeah.
And all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I think you'd really like Otto. She is.
I'm sitting here thinking like it would be cool to see her with like Daft Punk.
Oh yeah. Cool. What is the Baby Metal? Baby Metal?
Oh yeah, Baby Metal.
Have you ever heard of Baby Metal?
No.
Oh, Baby Metal is amazing.
Yeah,
she does show her face and has amazing costumes as well.
But she combines
Baby Metal.
She combines the metal sound, but also with a lot of cuteness. I haven't listened to her too much, but she's one of the main Japanese artists that does come around the U.S. pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she has this combination of the metal and the seriousness, but also the cuteness, and she absolutely owns both of them, and it's lovely.
Yeah, and that dichotomy at the same time. It's kind of Harlequin in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I'm so adorable and I'm going to murder you.
I think I remember hearing about, I can't remember if it was Japanese or Korean, there was like a group of ladies that was like a metal band that they were doing the whole cute little like schoolgirl thing, but they were singing like really low.
Right? Exactly. I think I remember the one you're talking about as well, and I can't place the name of it.
There was like 3 ladies for some reason.
Yes. But yeah, I love it.
Yuppie.
I know. I do. I love your J-pop exploration that you've been bringing us all on in the house, and it's quite nice.
Yes, and playing it in the car against everybody's wishes.
It's not against anybody's wishes. The radio really sucks right now. And so the idea of any music that also is not commercial, I think it's the commercials that are getting more. The fact also I'll be listening to the radio and be like, so I've heard this song my entire life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is there any other music? Or, so this song came out when I was 10. I'm now 47. I'd like to move on and have new music in my life instead of let me listen to this song when I was a kid and this song when I was a kid. It's like, I dig it. Well, do you want to wrap us up, darling?
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
Yes, exactly. That glorious episode close.
Oh, I've got this. Well, that wraps it up for us this week. Join us next week as another Japanese Gals Pick to share as Gals Guide podcast continues. Thank you guys for listening.
Want to learn about more women of history? Gals Guide opened a unique women's history lending library. Come visit and explore our collection. Learn more at galsguide.org. Thanks for listening.